All right, folks. This is Sherman Ray, and this is the Livin in Vegas podcast. It's time to get this show started. And, folks, want to welcome you all to the show this morning. I'm Sherman Ray, and this is the Livin in Vegas podcast. We come to you Monday through Friday to talk to you about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. When you think of living in Vegas, folks, think living local and the return of cool. And we want to welcome you all to the show today. I'm sorry, I'm a little preoccupied here because early in the morning, we get a lot of people who notice we're online, and then they start just sending us notes and everything else. So one of my friends, Manny Rodriguez, Manny's in Facebook prison or jail or something like that, whatever they call it. And so he, the only way he can talk to you is with direct messaging it, and he sends me stuff like every couple of minutes, which is funny. So I want to welcome you all to the show today, folks. This is Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray, publisher of Livin in Vegas magazine. You can actually check out Livin in Vegas magazine anytime you want. Just go online and go to www.livininvegas.com, livininvegas.com, and you can see this guy right here on the cover. That is Nathan Hall. So, and also we've got another magazine which is out right now, and it's called Livin Weekly magazine. And so on the cover, we're going to talk about her this morning, a little bit about Sandra this morning, because she's making the rounds, folks. She's been doing some cool stuff, which is great. We're very excited for Sandra Morgan. She is the hot ticket right now. We're going to talk about her more in just a minute. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully you're having a great day. It's towards the end of the week. I've got so much stuff I got to get doing, and I want to tell you a couple of things that are going on. Excuse me, I got a little frog in my throat. And I think what happened is because I was thinking about eating. My wife brought me. I don't know if you've seen this. Can you guys see this? You can see this. This is like a Hawaiian donut hole. So you can imagine what the donut looks like. This is huge. It's just a big piece of bread with it's really fluffy, and it's sprinkled with sugar. Just yummy. And maybe what's happening, excuse me, is that I'm my mouth is watering, looking at that thing over there. It's just killing me. So I'm opening up some of the Facebook pages. I want to thank everybody who's jumping online with us. Don't hesitate, folks, if you're seeing us on any of our Facebook pages, because we have several pages that we're a part of. The Livin in Vegas group page, our magazine page, our Livin Weekly page, which is definitely you want to get on the Livin Weekly page, updated all the time with real cool stuff. And of course, Black Success Magazine, that we actually write for that also. And I was telling everybody that we're actually starting a new endeavor, which, because we're a media company, folks, and what we do is we try to reach out to people who, and we generally reach out to people who are part of the Las Vegas fabric of Las Vegas, and so I was working with a group. Excuse me. Let's drink some coffee here. I think that works out better. Had to drink a little coffee there. So we have another group that we're just working with right now, and it's called Christian Biz Las Vegas. So it's I was part of a group that started 10 years ago. It's called the Christian Business Connection. And good friend of mine started that organization. It ran, and it's still running right now, but it hasn't really done anything. And so I spoke to the guy who is the owner of it. His name is Mike Gutierrez. Mike is a fantastic brother. He really is. He has a paint company and really a big heart for the city and big heart for business and stuff like that. And I said, hey, Mike, would you be interested in me just taking over that group of business owners and helping promote them? And because that's what I'm a cheerleader, folks. At heart, I'm a cheerleader. And he said, yeah, sure. He goes, I'm more than happy, Sherm. Thank you so much for taking over that group. And so what we're doing is we're kind of rebranding it, and we're just calling it Christian Business Las Vegas. So Christian Biz LV. So Christian Biz BIZ LV. So you can find us online. You can actually find us on a Facebook page. Let's see if I can actually find this really quick here. You can find us on a Facebook page that we just started for it, and already got people signing up, which is really fun. And so if you've not gotten an invite to that page yet, folks, it's because I've got a lot of people that I'm reaching out to, and so don't worry about it. We'll actually get you to be a part of that group. It's because I know a lot of business owners. I mean, a lot of business owners. So want to make sure that there it is. And how many people do we have on that page already? So we're close to 30 people on that page already, and so we'll probably get up to 1,000 business owners, which is great. So just wanted to let you guys know all about that. And so let's sell some stuff real quick here, and then we'll be back and we'll get started with the show. Okay. Hi everybody, it's Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. Are you a business owner that's looking to get the word out about his product, service, or even just a great message out there? Well, we'd like to give you that opportunity by being a guest on Livin in Vegas podcast. It's super simple. All you've got to do is contact us at advertising@livininvegas.com. That's advertising@livininvegas.com, and we'll schedule you for an interview on Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. All right, and we are back, folks. Once again, some of you may not know me. I'm Sherman Ray, the publisher of Livin in Vegas magazine, and yesterday we didn't even get to it. I wanted to really thank Paula and Sylvester, Paula and Sylvester run an organization called the Large Vision Business Networking Mixer. They came here in town 16 years ago, and we helped them celebrate their 16th anniversary at an event they had on Tuesday of this week. And thank you so much for inviting us out. We are part of their sponsorship, who sponsors their events. They're over at the Santa Fe station, and I wanted to give them a shout out because they acknowledged us as one of their sponsors, and also I won a prize. Well, I was at the event, and so it's too funny. Because we have a vendor table, of course. We're next to some really cool people and stuff, and Caesar's Palace is there, and MGM, and all that other stuff. I think Bank of Nevada was there. Their vice president was there. That kind of stuff, and everybody's just kind of congratulating them, patting them on the back, that kind of stuff. So I told my wife, I said, honey, I've got to go use the bathroom. So if I win a prize, because they were doing a prize drawing at the time, I said, if I win, just go up there and get my prize, because if you're not there, even though the company's there, if you're not there because they call your name, they're going to go on to the next person. So I go to the bathroom, and of course, you're in a men's bathroom. You see some of the guys you say, hey, how's it going? You fist bump, and I go back into the convention area, and I hear my name, Sherman Ray from Livin in Vegas magazine. I have no idea what they're calling out, but I come in the door like a star, right? Come in like a rock star, and I go, yeah, it's me. And they go, come on up, Sherman, where you at? Because they didn't know where I was at. They were looking over to where my vendor table was at. And then they look in the back, and they see me coming in the back, and I go running up. It was kind of like The Price is Right. Yay! And I go running down the hall, and I'm jumping up and down and stuff like that. And then, I say to everybody, I go, dude, what am I going up here for? I have no idea. Just have no idea. And so I go up on the stage, and people are looking at me with this look on their face like I did something wrong. And lady from Caesar's Palace is up there, and they go, hey, Sherm, here it is. And they give me this envelope. And I go, hey, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I have no idea what this is, right? I really had no idea because I was in the bathroom and I just came back in the room. I grabbed my envelope. I said, thank you, nonchalantly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I turn around and somebody tries to trip me. One of the guys in front of goes, I'll try to trip you. You just won that prize. And I have no idea what I just won. So I get back to my wife and I go, hey, honey. And she's jumping up and down and she's all excited and everybody else is excited. Once again, I'm totally oblivious to what just happened. So I get back and I say, honey, what is this, anyways? And she goes, honey, you won the grand prize. And I go, so I open up the envelope and I start reading it. And of course, people are now congregating around us, right? There are people that are coming towards us to find out what I won. And here, let me get this piece of paper because it's for visuals. You got to have a visual on this. So, open up the piece of paper, and I go, wow, staycation. Oh, and I remember them saying a staycation. So, I want a staycation package at one of the Caesar's Palace properties. Hey, not bad. 2 nights, two food. This $250, $300, $400. I go, honey, this is good stuff here. I just won. She goes, I know, you just won, you just won. And of course, we were, I was excited. Thank you so much. So gracious. So thank you. So humbled that we show up at this event and we meet some really cool people. Plus, we win, $500 worth of prizes at this event. So very, very cool. Anyways, let's do this. Let's talk about some of the things that are going on in Vegas because we really have got to do that. And if you miss any of the stuff that we're going to be talking about today, and some of the stuff we won't get to because I talk so much, but you can go to our website at livininvegas.com. We will post all the stuff that I don't get to on the show here on our Facebook page, or excuse me, on our website. And so definitely go to our website at livininvegas.com. That's livininvegas.com, and it's right at the top, so you'll see all this stuff. So this was actually kind of concerning. There's a California law that will probably impact the trucking industry and the supply chain that not only feeds the California area, but will probably affect us here in Las Vegas because we're here in the middle of the desert, folks. I don't know if many of you know this, even though we have palm trees that abound, but we live in the middle of the desert, and everything we get here we truck in. There's really not. We don't grow much food here, and the food we do grow here, it's just not a little alfalfa here and there, that kind of stuff. So, as this story goes, California evidently in 2019 passed Assembly Bill 5, and it adds regulations for independent contractors who drive trucks. The trucking industry received a temporary injunction that was not extended by the courts in June. It's a bill that basically, according to the Nevada Trucking Association CEO Paul Enos, he said the California law was intended to protect contract workers to ensure things like overtime pay, unemployment, and insurance. Okay, nothing wrong with that. So they're basically saying, hey, look, we came as a collective together. We want to protect some of our contract workers. However, Enos said it will lead to truck drivers quitting in an industry that's 80,000 truckers short and already predicted to get worse in the coming years. Now, I'm going to read from this article. This was actually from Fox 5. The majority of truck drivers are independent truck drivers. There are about 70,000 in California alone, said, and many of the independent truck drivers don't want to go through the hurdles and costs of the new regulations and don't want to become employees of another business. So once again, you've got people who are contract workers and you've got people who are part of a big, union, basically. And the independent guys say, look, we don't want to adhere to some, we're independent guys. We bought a truck, we do our own thing, and that's the way we like it. We've been doing it for years, and they are just kind of the way they are. Enos goes on to say, he says, that ability to go out there to achieve the American dream, to own and operate your own business, and to be in control of your own time, says, they said that's big. So we might see a slowdown. I mean, we might just see a slowdown because, according, and somebody sent me this article yesterday, and I was like, oh, great. What else do we need now? I mean, in the grand scheme of things, we just came out of 2 years of a pandemic where, and many of you remember, it was about this time 2 years ago that the governor shut down the entire state. He said, nope, that's it. Everybody go home. And I remember at the time I had just started the Black Business Chamber of Commerce. Or excuse me, I closed down a restaurant in 2019. And then starting in 2020, I started the Black Business Chamber of Commerce. We were working with about 3,000 business owners, and we were getting ready to get started with this whole thing. And then all of a sudden, the governor goes, that's it. Everybody stay home. I went, what? What do you mean go home? We're business owners. We don't go home. We're business. We run businesses. That's what we do. Rain or shine, we're like the mail, right? Rain or shine, sleet or snow, we do business. And Governor Sisolak said, no, not now. You're not. You're going to go home and you're going to stay home. I actually have pictures, and I'll post these pictures on our website of what Fremont Street and the Las Vegas Strip looked like in 2020, 2021, when everything was shut down. Folks, it was a ghost town. And I don't know if I ever want to see that again. That was, I mean, and there are a lot of my friends who lost their businesses. A lot of people who thought they could weather the storm really have not ever recovered yet. And this is it's just a sad state of affairs that we're in. There's a bug that's floating around. That's very strange. So we're just kind of it's just in a state. So now we still have not come out of that pandemic yet fully. And there are a lot of people who, and I'm in this boat myself, folks. I'm sorry, I'm looking at this bug who's trying to crawl around on my table here. I've got to trap him until I can find a way to dispose of him humanely. It seems like there's always one thing after another. The trucking thing now. Now, this was not part of Governor Sisolak. He had nothing to do with this. The California state legislature had something to do with this. So we'll see what happens here. So don't be surprised, folks. Also in politics, let's talk a little bit about politics today. We rarely talk about politics. We will today because there was actually a poll that came out recently, and it was an Emerson poll. And it said it was a right track, wrong track poll. And the right track, wrong track said that Nevada is headed in the wrong direction. And this was a very interesting poll that the Emerson poll said that 54, I believe it was, 54% of Nevadans, I got to make sure, I don't want to get this wrong. I think it's 54. Yeah, 55%. 55.4% of respondents believe that the state is headed in the wrong direction. 44.6 say that we're going in the right direction. And ironically, even though most people say that we're going in the wrong direction, and people attribute that to wages, rents, housing, economy, all kinds of stuff that they were questioning that. Despite most people saying we're going in the wrong direction, you still have a slight edge in the voting going for Governor Sisolak. And you still have a slight positive direction for Catherine Cortez Masto. So that's very interesting. I mean, unfortunately, the independents who are going to be voting, there's probably enough of them right now who are saying, "Hey, look, we." So here's the voting for the Emerson College poll. 43.6% of people are voting for, are in favor of Governor Sisolak, and Joe Lombardo, who's on the other side, his closest challenger, is 40.3%. So we got about 2 point some odd percent um, of the people. There's still a swing, and you still have undecided people, which is 7.3%. They're undecided, and then you have 8.6% who are who want somebody else. They don't want either one of these two guys. So the undecideds right now are it's 7%. So this could go either way. I mean, it really could. So we'll see what happens. But on a brighter note, here in Las Vegas, we've got some really cool, a sign here. We know that the last 5 6 months, we've been seeing rent, housing prices just going through the roof. If you bought a home in the last year, 2 years, you probably saw the price of your home double. And if you are renting a place, you could have seen your rent quadruple. We've had some people downtown in the Arts District downtown quadrupled. They might have been paying $1,000. Now it's up to 4,000. It was like overnight. I mean, literally overnight. People losing their homes, that kind of stuff. Well, inflation and the rise in interest rates that the feds have implemented have softened the market. So in Las Vegas right now, there was a waiting list for homes, you just didn't have enough homes. Now there's actually an inventory. It's a slight inventory, but there's still an inventory of homes here in the valley, which also means that rental prices are starting to stabilize, and it's starting to go to the normal realm. So that's a great thing, because literally people were getting priced out of the market. I mean, yeah, can you imagine that? You're living in a home, or you're downtown, especially we'll talk about the Arts District just a bit here. Is the Arts District, which just on Tuesday, I believe, I didn't check yet, they were going to vote to see if they were going to expand the Arts District by like 56%. I mean, it's a bigger footprint. Well, that's wonderful if people can afford to open businesses down there or to stay down there, because it's a work live space down there. And a lot of people are going, well, that's wonderful that they're expanding it, but the way prices are, I can't afford to be down there. Well, looks like there might be a little reprieve here, which is a great sign. Um, and once again, there were people who had their rent was like $1,000, and we heard about this, that their rent went up to $4,000 overnight. The landlord came in and he goes, "Hey, if you can't pay it, you got to be out of here." And they were going, "Well, we can't afford this." He goes, "Well, you got to go." And then you go and talk to the landlords, and he goes, "You know what?" And this was one landlord. He says, "If they can't afford this $4,000, then they probably shouldn't live here." I go, "Well, yeah, but the guy, it was $1,000 just a day ago." He goes, "Well, it's not that today." So, this is very interesting. Let's see. Okay, so there was a family. Do I have time? Yeah, we got time. There was a. Wow, that's amazing. There was a Gallegos family. They said that rent relief can't come soon enough. For the past year, they've called a studio apartment in Southeast Las Vegas home. It's not even one bedroom. It's about 400 square foot. It's a studio apartment. Hope Gallegos explained. So as soon as you walk in, you're walking into a bedroom and supposedly a dining area and small kitchen and a bathroom. So it's in New York. In New York, that ain't bad. That's the way it is. For the small space, the rent has been affordable until now. Here's what you got to get. When they first moved, our contract was $856 a month. Wow. For 400 square foot. And then as soon as the renewal came in September, we get a notice that it's going up to $1,200 a month for 400 square foot. That's an increase of $300. And the couple said they simply can no longer afford it. Wow. You know, usually it's $20 or $50 or something like that, and it goes one year after another. But $300 for a 400 square foot with no washer, no dryer, no security, no nothing. The Gallegos family said they're just a little upset. So, looks like they might get a little bit of a reprieve. Um, the interesting thing about it, folks, is once you get up to that level, it's not going back. It's not going back down. You know, your landlord's not going to go, well, you know what, things in the market have softened up a little bit. We're going to lessen your rent. It's not going. It's not going backwards. It's kind of sad, but kind of the way it is. Um, let's talk about. Oh. Okay. Let's talk about. Let's go into sports here a little bit, folks. So sports news. This is almost sad. I love sports. I love the Raiders. I love the Aces, and everything. And we didn't get to talk about this yesterday because I was talking so much yesterday. But the Aviators, I keep up the Aviators all the time because I love the Aviators. They played against Salt Lake, and if you get our newsletter or you went online yesterday, you saw that the Aviators were spanking Salt Lake City in a game they had Tuesday. Well, they played Wednesday. Oh, gosh, it was almost like they didn't show up. So the score 15-8. They played here in town and they just got spanked. It's just a spanking, and so we're hoping things. You know, are they playing again today? Yeah, they're playing again today. And today it's $2 beer night. Okay, is it tonight? Yeah, $2. So it's $2 beer night for the game tonight. So you can actually go out and check out the Aviators tonight. And they're doing a fantastic job. There's no doubt about it. The Aviators are doing a fantastic job. But we've got to make sure that they keep on their winning ways. And before we leave, I'll give you one more, folks. Before we leave, many of you keep up with our Vegas Golden Knights, and you probably heard what happened. I know. So I got to bring this up. So Max Pacioretty getting traded. Yeah. Let me find this story because I hate to do stories that I didn't look up. But yesterday, so I get stories all the time, folks. Just stories about what's going on, this, that, and the other thing. But when I have to choose what I'm going to talk about, sometimes I just don't get to it. So Max Pacioretty, I was like going, I was flabbergasted. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, well I know what it is off the top of my head. So Max Pacioretty, and I think we're losing one other player. They're actually leaving the team. They're being traded away, and I think we're getting Schmitty back. Schmitty! Love you, Schmitty. He's a great guy. A lot of people are saying, well, Max is kind of old, blah, blah, blah. Okay, here's the deal. We had a group of misfits that for 4 years, almost 5 years, reigned supreme in Las Vegas. And some of the players, the Flower, and Match Pacioretty, guys like that, White Cloud, all these guys, they are, and it's funny, I remember all these guys. I'm not even a big hockey guy, but I know these guys because they're our homegrown guys. We've been trading guys away like every year, and I'm worried. I'm worried about my Vegas Golden Knights. I really am. Even though people go, oh, we'll be fine without these guys and stuff like that. Sometimes, and this is in my humble opinion, because I'm a closet coach. I think you need to keep the guys who brought you to the dance. Okay, does that make sense? Keep the guys who brought you to the dance. Go home with them. Okay, you don't go to a dance with somebody who brung you, and then you go home with somebody else. Okay, whoever brought you to the dance, whoever got you there, that's who you need to stick with, at least for a couple of years. Okay, we've gone through 3 coaches already. Our head coach, who actually brought us to the playoffs for 3 years, he was still in the playoffs the following year. with another team though, because we traded him, and we got a new guy now who's supposed to be really cool and stuff like that. So we'll find out. We'll just find out. Anyways, I'm on my soapbox here, folks. I'm just a homegrown guy, and I think we should keep some of the people that brought us to the dance. Anyways, I encourage you folks, go to our website. If you missed any of the stuff we're talking about here today, we'll have links and we'll have to all the stories that we talked about today, plus so much more. Go to our website at livininvegas.com. That's livininvegas.com. We really encourage you folks, if you're watching us on YouTube, that you go to this little subscribe button right here, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you'll keep up to date with all the stuff that we're doing here at Livin in Vegas magazine. Also, our podcast, folks, go to Spotify. Spotify, Livin in Vegas podcast is there. And if you want to just hear my dulcet tones, you can actually download our podcast, which goes up pretty much every single day. That's about it, I guess. Okay, anyways. Oh, also, if you would like to get on our mailing list, send me your contact information at info@livininvegas.com. That's info@livininvegas.com. We'll send you out all the cool stuff that we're doing, plus so much more that we're planning that's going on in my fertile mind here. Anyways, this has been Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. We will see you again tomorrow where we'll talk about the people, the places, the trends, the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. When you think of Livin in Vegas, folks, think living local and the return of cool. We'll see you again tomorrow, folks. Bye-bye.